Okay, so here we are, page 22 at that break. Now here is the suitor's answer. You and all the Achaeans mark it well. Dismiss your mother from the house or make her marry the man her father names and she prefers. Does she intend to keep us dangling forever? She may rely too long on Athena's gifts, talent in handicraft, and a clever mind, so cunning. History cannot show the like among the ringleted ladies of Achaea. Mycenae with her coronet, Alcmene, Tyro, wits like Penelope's never were before. But this time, well, she made poor use of them. For here are suitors eating up your property as long as she holds out a plan some god put in her mind. She makes a name for herself, but you can feel the loss it means for you. Again, blaming this all on Penelope. She wasn't doing as she should have, and it's her own fault that all the suitors are sticking around eating up the food because she hasn't chosen one of them. And so, sorry, Telemachus, it's your own problem. Top of page 23. Our own affairs can wait. We'll never go anywhere else until she takes an Achaean to her liking. They're not going away. But clear-headed Telemachus replied, Antinius, can I banish against her will the mother who bore me and took care of me? My father is either dead or far away, but dearly I should pay for this at Icarus's hands if ever I sent her back. Remember Icarius. Oops. Icarius is Penelope's father. The powers of darkness would requite it too. My mother's parting curse would call hell's furies to punish me, along with the scorn of men. No, I can never give the word for this, but if your hearts are capable of shame, leave my great hall and take your dinner elsewhere. Consume your own stores. Turn and turn about. Use one another's houses. If you choose to slaughter one man's livestock and pay nothing, this is rapine. And by the eternal gods, I beg Zeus, you shall get what you deserve, a slaughter here and nothing paid for it. Now, Zeus, who views the wide world, sent a sign to him, launching a pair of eagles from a mountain crest in gliding flight down the soft-blowing wind, wing-tip to wing-tip, quivering taut companions, till high above the assembly of many voices they wheeled, their dense wings beating, and in havoc dropped on the heads of the crowd, a deathly omen, wielding their talons, tearing cheeks and throats, then veered away on the right hand through the city. Okay, so Zeus sent a sign. These eagles came and tore up a few people and then left. Astonished, gaping after the birds, the men felt their hearts flood, foreboding things to come. And now they heard the old lord, Halitherses, son of Master, keenest among the old, after reading bird flight into accurate speech. In his anxiety for them, he rose and said, Hear me, Ithacans, hear what I have to say, and may I hope to open the suitors' eyes to the black wave towering over them. Odysseus will not be absent from his family long. He is already near, carrying in him a bloody doom for all these men in sorrow, for many more on our high sea mark, Ithaca. Okay. So they believe that there were these signs and omens. And so this guy, he is supposed to be able to tell what these different signs mean. And so he has basically predicted Odysseus is on his way home. And if you don't leave Penelope alone, give up being suitors, then something terrible is going to happen. Do you think they heed this message? I am old enough to know a sign when I see one, and I say all has come to pass for Odysseus, as I foretold when the Argives massed on Troy, and he, the great tactician, joined the rest. That's a reference to Odysseus, the great tactician. My forecast was that after 19 years, many blows weathered, all his shipmates lost, himself unrecognized by anyone, he would come home. I see this all fulfilled. But Polybus' son, Eurymachus, retorted, Old man, go tell the omens for your children at home and try to keep them out of trouble. I am more fit to interpret this than you are. Bird life aplenty is found in the sunny air, not all of it significant. As for Odysseus, he perished far from home. You should have perished with him. Then we'd be spared this nonsense in assembly, as good as telling Telemachus to rage on. Do you think you can gamble on a gift from him? Here's what I foretell, and it's quite certain. If you, with what you know of ancient lore, encourage bitterness in this young man, it means for him only the more frustration. He can do nothing whatever with 2 eagles. And as for you, old man, we'll fix a penalty that you will groan to pay. Before the whole assembly, I advised Telemachus to send his mother to her father's house, let them arrange her wedding there, and fix a portion suitable for a valued daughter. Until he does this, courtship is our business. Vexing though it may be, we fear no one, certainly not Telemachus with his talk, and we care nothing for your divining uncle. Useless talk, you win more hatred by it. We'll share his meat. No thanks or fee to him, as long as she delays and maddens us. It is a long, long time we have been waiting in rivalry for this beauty. We could have gone elsewhere and found ourselves very decent wives. So he's basically now sided with Antinous, Eurymachus, and he is not at all a decent fellow. He's basically saying that he is going to just stay there and keep feasting as long as he wants. They could have found other wives, but they're not going to. So if Telemachus does not send his mom to her father and pick out a suitor that way, then they're just going to hang on and eat all his food. Clear-headed Telemachus replied to this, Eurymachus, noble suitors all, I am finished with appeals and argument. The gods know, and the Achaeans know these things. But give me a fast ship and a crew of 20, who will see me through a voyage out and back. I'll go to sandy Pylos, then to Sparta, for news of father since he sailed from Troy. Some traveler's tale, perhaps, or a rumored fame issued from Zeus himself into the world. If he's alive and beating his way home, I might hold out for another weary year. But if they tell me that he's dead and gone, then I can come back to my own dear country and raise a mound for him and burn his gear with all the funeral honors that befit him and give my mother to another husband. So basically he's saying, give me a year. I want to find out if Odysseus is dead or alive. If he's dead, I'll build a mound, give my mom away. If he's alive, I'm going to wait another year yet and see if he comes home. The boy sat down in silence. Next to stand was Mentor, comrade in arms of the prince Odysseus, an old man now. Odysseus left him authority over his house and slaves to guard them well. In his concern, he spoke to the assembly. Hear me, Ithacans. Hear what I have to say. Let no man holding scepter as a king be thoughtful, mild, kindly, or virtuous. Let him be cruel and practice evil ways. It is so clear that no one here remembers how, like a gentle father, Odysseus ruled you. I find it less revolting that the suitors carry their malice into violent acts. At least they stake their lives when they go pillaging the house of Odysseus. Their lives upon it, he will not come again. What sickens me is to see the whole community sitting still and never a voice or a hand raised against them, a mere handful compared to you. So Mentor here is saying that the whole community has let this happen and it's a bad thing. Leocritus, Urinor's son, replied to him, Mentor, what mischief are you raking up? Will this crowd risk the sword's edge over a dinner? Suppose Odysseus himself indeed came in and found the suitors at his table. He might be hot to drive them out. What then? Never would he enjoy his wife again, the wife who loves him well. He'd only bring down abject death on himself against those odds. Madness to talk of fighting in either case. Now let all present go about their business. Halitherses and Mentor will speed the traveler. They can help him. They were his father's friends. I rather think he will be sitting here a long time yet, waiting for news on Ithaca. That seafaring he spoke of is beyond him. Okay, so this guy who pipes up now says Mentor is trying to cause mischief, and if Odysseus even would come in and try to chase the suitors out, he'd get killed, because the suitors are too powerful for him. And then he also says how he doubts Telemachus's ability, basically says Odysseus is not going to get to go on any type of a voyage. He's too immature, too wimpy, all of that. On this note, they were quick to end their parley. The assembly broke up, everyone went home, the suitors home to Odysseus' house again. But Telemachus walked down along the shore and washed his hands in the foam of the gray sea, then said this: